Today, we're going to be using the team that really started the Orthworm revolution. We're going to be using David Koutesh's team from EUIC that has also won a regional championship in Sao Paulo recently. It is a very strong team featuring Choice Band, Ting Lu, and Orthworm with Shedtail. Let's see how the team is going to perform. This team features Orthworm with Shedtail and Iron Defense, with multiple spread ground type moves like Earthquake, Dragonite, Bulldoze, Gyarados, and Choice Band Ting Lu that complements Orthworm's low special defense well with the Vessel of Ruin and heal it with Earth Eater while doing heavy damage to the opposing side. It is an incredible combo. Paired with multi-skill Dragonite, the substitute will have multi-skill properties if Dragonite is full health after receiving the substitute from Shedtail that allows it to set up Dragon Dances. You can also get Choice Specs Flutter Mane behind the substitute to break through teams. These usually involve a combination of Orthworm, Ting Lu, and Gyarados, but this team has a lot of good elite possibilities. If you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they will be linked in the description. Honchkrow, Xianpao, Sylveon, Gyarados, Great Tusk, Iron Bundle. Honchkrow, okay. Let's figure it out. They don't exactly have the best answers to Orthworm, I think, throughout. I think I actually want to lead Orthworm plus Gyarados and then have Ting Lu in the back. I kind of like this. Yeah, I do like this a lot. Orthworm's actually really good against the team in general, and then Dragonite, I think, is the last. Like, Flutter Mane does destroy a lot of their team. Don't get me wrong. It does destroy a lot of their team, but maybe I could get Flutter Mane behind the sub. Flutter Mane behind the sub actually goes crazy too. Do I need Dragonite, I guess? Actually, I really don't need Dragonite. Dragonite, you know what? Who needs Dragonite when you could have Choice Specs Flutter Mane behind the sub? Let's just go with the Flutter Mane. Choice Specs Flutter Mane behind the sub actually destroys. Why wouldn't I go that? Like the Dragonite, yeah, it's a nice setup. The multi-skill's cool, but like Choice Specs Flutter Mane behind the sub sounds way more appealing to me. So let's see if we can what we can accomplish here. I like the idea of just being able to maybe go for like Iron the Shedtail immediately, maybe set up an Iron Defense situation. This is the reason why I led the Gyarados, because of the double Intimidate into these factors right here of the Great Tusk and the Xianpao. I want to go for Terra, I'm pretty sure. I wonder if it's Scarf Tusk. I'm going to go for my Shedtail Terra Fire. I don't really need my Terra this game. And I'm going to go for a Bulldoze to break a Sash and also get some speed control up, because the idea here is, okay, I'm thinking it might be Scarf Tusk with Focus Sash Xianpao. I'm probably going to close combat Sacred Sword double up, I think, my Orthworm. If this is the case, I break a Sash, I cover for a Scarf Tusk, and then I get my Flutter Mane in and I just click Gleam behind the sub. And yeah, this is exactly what they're doing. Perfect. No Rock Size, so no flinches. Great. Ice Spinner into Gyarados, actually. Okay. Perfect. Like, I think Sacred Sword would have been more ideal, of course, but I'll definitely take getting the free Earth Eater. And again, Focus Sash brought down on the Xianpao. The Great Tusk is vulnerable now to a Dazzling Gleam. Perfect. Shedtail. Just showing how strong the Orthworm Shedtail really is. I want to preserve Gyarados, I guess, for later is my question, or do I want to pin a slot if I can? I think we just go out into my... Well, we go Flutter Mane here, of course, because we have no reason not to click Dazzling Gleam in this position. The Tusk is probably switching out. It can't do anything. It's locked into close combat. So I could Thunder Wave, or I could swap. I like the idea of just swapping here the Gyarados and keeping Intimidate around. I think I'm going to go back into my Orthworm, because I might as well just go back into Orthworm at this point. Great Tusk going to retreat. Save that Intimidate for later, because they're probably breaking the sub with Xianpao. Honchkrow is going to be seen. We're seeing the Honchkrow. That's cool. Unfortunately, it chose the worst time to come in, because it's going to be susceptible to Dazzling Gleam. Wonder if it's like Sucker. I wonder what that is. Like maybe Sucker Punch. We're going to see Sucker Punch in a Flutter Mane. That is going to be able to do enough to break the sub, but Dazzling Gleam will finish off the Honchkrow and the Xianpao, because there was no Terras involved. So here comes the Dazzling Gleam. Goodbye into Honchkrow and Xianpao. The Tusk is like forced to lock into a move now, which is pretty big. They lock into a ground move. It's great for me. If they lock in a Rock Slide, that's the only issue. But I have Ting Lu in the back, so I think if I can just eliminate whatever isn't the Ting Lu, I think I'm fine. Great Tusk is going to come out. plus bundle? Yeah, bundle. Okay, let's see what you're gonna lock yourself into. Hydro Pump Rock Slide? I kind of just want to stay in and get the damage on bundle to put in Earthquake range for my Ting Lu. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna play aggressive. I don't lose anyway if I get the read wrong, because what did they do? They can't really close combat lock in, I'm pretty sure. I think they have to Rock Slide lock in. Might as well just get the damage on the bundle with Body Press and Dazzling Gleam. They are gonna freeze dry my Flutter Mane, which is cool. And yeah, they locked themselves in the Rock Slide. It's not KOing either Pokemon. Orthworm avoids. Perfect. But I don't flinch, which is a big part. Okay. So Dazzling Gleam is able to finish off the Tusk, and then it's just bundle 1v4. Bundle cannot win that 1v4. I'm able to body press the knockout into the Iron Bundle, and that's going to seal up the game. Perfect. Let's say worst cases, I mean, I had to fight through Rock Slide flinches eventually. The thing is, as long as I get one hit off in the bundle, and then as long as Ting Lu is able to move, I should be able to secure the game that way. So showing how strong like these Pokemon could be under the Shed Tail is absolutely incredible right there. Chi-Yu, Flutter Mane, Gyarados, Iron Hands, Ting Lu, and Amoonguss. Okay, Chi-Yu, Flutter Mane. There's no bundle, so I could probably Terra my Orthworm pretty safely. It isn't exactly the best, but it's okay. I have a few options. Like Ting Lu Gyarados is actually a really strong option, I think, into this team. I do like Ting Lu plus Gyarados actually as a lead. It's so strong against, I think, a majority of the cast that my opponent has. And I like Orthworm in the back with Dragonite. I could lead the Orthworm immediately, but the thing is, what am I pairing it with? I could go for it, but then I think the Chi-Yu plus the Flutter Mane is going to be super threatening where I have to force a Terra, which I'm not exactly a huge fan of. But let's see. Because like Gyarados can immediately Thunder Wave pressure, waterfall damage. I think it can be a better setup to go for the Orthworm and then late game Dragonite, because I just don't want to commit to a Terra if I don't have to. Because if I go for Terra Fire on the Orthworm, which is one of the weaknesses, is if you are forced to Terra the Orthworm and Shed Tail, you might be like going for like a Dragonite sweep, and the Dragonite can't Terra, which is a big problem. We're going to see the Gyarados plus the Iron Hands lead actually, which is probably pretty ideal because I'm able to get the Intimidate off. Actually, this is a weird lead because I don't know how they really stop Orthworm. So I could have just let Orthworm, but this is a-okay for me. Vessel of Ruin activation. Can't really maneuver here. I think my best play is just to go out into Orthworm immediately for the Gyarados and just go for Earthquake and get some decent damage off into the Iron Hands. I don't know if they're Dragon Hands. They could just go for a Waterfall immediately, which is a-okay by me. It's not going to do that much damage with the Intimidate. Orthworm going to come in. We're going to see Fake Out come out into the Ting Lu. All right. And a Waterfall? No, Thunder Wave into what was the Orthworm. Okay. I wonder if they have Taunt, because they're probably going to taunt the Orthworm. I just want to go for damage immediately, I'm pretty sure. So I think my best play is just to go for maybe a Body Press or a Heavy Slam into the hands and get some decent damage off. I think I am just going to go for the Body Press and the Earthquake and just see what they're going to decide to do with the Gyarados. We're going to see the hands retreat. This might be a Amoonguss, which is okay. I have Heavy Slam and I have a switch to Gyarados that I can do. They do go out into Amoonguss. That's fine. They do Taunt. Yep, that's what I expected. Okay, that's all right. Heavy Slam should do some decent damage to Amoonguss as well, so I'm not really too concerned about this. And I do have a Safety Goggles Gyarados that's waiting to switch into the Amoonguss. I don't really do damage with the Choice Bandit attack, but the Body Press actually does do a pretty significant amount. I'm going to Heavy Slam, weaken this Amoonguss, and I'm going to Hard Swap into the Gyarados for the Intimidate. If they go out into their Iron Hands, which I think is a play I could definitely see, it's all right. I get Intimidate off if they switch in for the Gyarados slot. And if they go for, and if they just stay in, I'm just going to double back out. I think the Ting Lu into the I'm just going to double out Gyarados back in the Ting Lu because it's probably going to be Iron Hands as a switch and maybe a Pollen Puff. We'll see. I don't expect Gyarados to stay in, or maybe Thunder Wave. They're going to protect the Amoonguss. Makes sense. It was taking a lot of damage. It's probably Waterfall to start racking up some chip. Yep. Into Ting Lu. Doesn't do much. And now we can go for a Heavy Slam into the Protect, but now we can just Heavy Slam again into the Amoonguss, go back into Ting Lu on probably Thunder Wave or a Heart Swap to Iron Hands, I imagine, for their position. So I think this is pretty safe. We're just trying to build up a game for Dragonite. And the way we build up this game for Dragonite is we're playing slowly, because the problem is this Taunt Gyarados is denying us anything that we really want to do with our Orthworm. But as soon as, like, the Gyarados is not doing anything, so if we can either force the Gyarados out early by having its momentum slowed down by just like it not being able to do much other than just go for Taunt and Thunder Wave, then we should be okay. We're gonna see the Amoonguss switch out, so this is hands again, it looks like. Yep, hands. But we're not intimidated with the Tinglu anymore. They go for a taunt into what was the Gyarados, so they want to prevent like Thunder Waves, maybe deny protect the falling turns. I get a heavy slam off, so I get some chip into the hands, which is nice. Orthworm shakes out the taunt. They're probably going to taunt the Orthworm and fake out. So I think I'm just going to get some damage off in the hands with a Earthquake immediately into the hands and body press. I think this is fake out Tinglu and probably just go for a taunt. They could Terra too, which is okay as well. So we force a Terra out of them. But that means if it's Terra Grass Iron Hands, they're going to be vulnerable to Dragonite's Terra Blast. So this is an okay situation for us. Actually, we can get that. If we can get behind the sub, that's all we really need to do. And I think I do have ideas to get out of. Oh, they actually just attack straight up. Okay. Did they wall charge to cover for a Gyarados, or did they just Drain Punch? Earthquake going to come out. Let's see. Get some decent damage off in Iron Hands, I suppose. Probably like 15%. A little bit less. They did just Drain Punch immediately. All right. Unfortunate for me. How much body press does? Unfortunate. All right. I still want Tinglu around, of course, although it's not really as valuable. But again, I'm just trying to set up for a specific win con. I'm just going to go for a body press and go into Gyarados. If they read this and go for Wall Charge, I'm okay with that. I get a free switch to Dragonite and I can go for a Terra Blast. And hopefully after the body press, I put the hands into range of Terra Blast from Dragonite because it's super effective now. Even if I don't get the Shed Tail off immediately, I think I could win with. I think I can win with some other factors. They go for Waterfall, Wall Charge, or did they Drain Punch my Orthworm? Yeah, good play. They covered the Gyarados switching in, but again, with that recoil on the hands, I'm completely fine with taking that trade, right? Okay, big body press is huge. Okay, I think that's in Terra Blast range. Perfect. We go into Dragonite. And I'm just going to Dragon Dance. Actually, I could just Dragon Dance up. Dragon Dance up is pretty safe. And I want a heavy... Do I want a heavy slam? I think I want to go for a body press again. Yeah, I want a body press and I want a Dragon Dance. But I just want a Terra Blast. I'm trying to think of whether it's worth Terra Blasting immediately or not. I kind of want to just Dragon Dance. I'm just going to Dragon Dance, actually. Because Dragonite's in such a safe defensive position, they're probably just going to Thunder Wave and go for maybe a Wall Charge into Dragonite, which I think is okay. Not expecting Icy Wind, okay. But I'm still on neutral, which is pretty big. All right. So we figure out the Gyarados doesn't have Protect. Good to note. Drain Punch into Orthworm. Okay. That is a-okay. And... I don't... Well, the hands is still in range of a knockout. Orthworm shakes off the taunt. I think this play, I want to go for Shed Tail with my Orthworm, and I'm going to Terra Blast the hands. And I think this play works out because the Gyarados, I don't think at -2 can break the Tinglu sub. So Tinglu is going to threaten like every single member of their team with a knockout with Choice Banded attack. So as long as I can pick up the knockout in the hands, I don't have to really worry about like something being able to tank the Tinglu attack other than Gyarados. That gets still pressured later on. So Terra Blast is going to come out into the Iron Hands. Let's see. You can only taunt or Icy Wind again, which is perfectly fine for me. Goodbye, Iron Hands. Beautiful. We force a Terra, so they can't Terra anymore. Is this Icy Wind again? It is going to be Icy Wind again. Makes sense. Okay. Come on, Orthworm. Please get this Shed Tail off. Please. Okay, nice. We're able to get the Shed Tail, get a Citrus Berry procced, and bring in a Tinglu behind a sub. And it's just like really hard for them to deal with Tinglu behind a sub. All right, beautiful. We're bringing out Ting Lu. I guess the question is, do I want to preserve Dragonite? I guess it comes down to who's coming out afterward. Who is coming out afterward? Because Gyarados can't really do much damage to Dragonite, especially with the Vessel of Ruin still in effect. Because the Gyarados is at -2. Chi-Yu is going to come out. Okay. Is it Sash is my biggest question. But I think that my play is to always just click Earthquake and hard swap into the Orthworm. Do I could cover for Sash if I want to. Do I expect this to be Sash? I don't. I think it'd be like Goggles on this team. I'm going to Earthquake. I'm just going to make the Earthquake play. I'm going to go Orthworm. I'm going to make sure that I still have the Dragonite around if I can. Because if I keep Dragonite alive, I think it's pretty valuable. Bring out the Orthworm. Yeah, they went for Heat Wave. Ting Lu dodged, which is nice. I don't think I needed... Well, I do need to dodge if they Waterfall Flinch. That was the only thing. Yeah. So the only thing that really mattered was like coming for the Waterfall Flinch. And I'm pretty sure Heat Wave would have knocked out. But yeah, now we have an Earthquake set up for the Chi-Yu. And that is a knockout. Beautiful. Okay. And now it's just a Mungus and Gyarados by itself. Should have the game sealed then. Well, it could still be a game. Let's see. Bring out the Dragonite. Us being behind the sub is still really good. The Mungus is going to come in. Dragonite. Are they going to Thunder Wave? I'm just curious if they Thunder Wave into Spore. I could have locked myself in a Rock Slide, but I just wasn't sure if that was knocking out the Ting Lu if it was bulky. So there are two plays that they can make. The Amoonguss either protects or it doesn't. That's basically what it comes down to. I think I'm just going to Dragon Dance. I'm going to go greedy here. Because if I attack into an Amoonguss protects, then I just lose the game 100%. While if I Dragon Dance, I think I am still in a pretty safe spot. Like, they would have to really hard call this. Icy Wind Spore, I think, in the Dragonite. And even then, I don't think that guarantees the game. Thunder Wave Spore could have been something, but like, they need a lot of hits with Gyarados to be able to punish the Dragonite. And the reason I don't target the Gyarados right now is because the Gyarados is at -2 attack. It can't do much damage to the Dragonite at all. Sub fades on the Ting Lu finally, but yeah, should be all right. So we went for the Earthquake. I wonder if +1 Terra Blast knocks out Gyarados. I'd imagine not, just because of how bulky Gyarados is. So we're going to Earthquake and Terra Blast. I guess they could go for another Protect, but I don't think they really have room to afford to. Yeah. So we're going to get a Terra Blast off into the Amoonguss. Does pick up the knockout. It's not an over game because they can still Waterfall Flinch or crit me. That's the problem. Thunder Wave going to come out into the Dragonite. But I have a Lumberry, so I think that actually seals it up because that they went for the Thunder Wave. If they went for Icy Wind again, then I actually would have had a... Then I would have had a speed decrease, and then I would have been slower. Sure, I could extreme speed, but the thing is... as they had enough. It felt like it was pretty hard throughout. I did lose the Gyarados. They made a really good wall charge read, but I felt like it was all according to my plan, as you mentioned before. Specifically setting up for Shed Tail strategies and getting Dragonite into good position, because I did burn their Terra like really early and position the knockout for the Chi-Yu, which I felt like was really crucial and was able to call it. Annihilate, Mousehold, Chien-Pao, Dragonite, Ting Lu, and Amoonguss. Alright, Annihilate with Mousehold. Gonna be interesting to see how this performs. I kind of want to try something different. I think Fluttermane Orthworm sounds really interesting to me here in this, because I don't think the Drain Punch should knock out the Orthworm to get it out of Shed Tail range. So I kind of want to try Fluttermane plus Orthworm. In the back, the only problem is the Annihilate could still be a bit questionable, but I think I'm probably okay with like Ting Lu and maybe Dragonite in the back. Chien-Pao behind a sub is actually pretty scary for their team. Could be. I think I prefer Dragonite for its consistency a bit better, but I don't think Chien-Pao's a bad bring either. Do I need Ting Lu? Ting Lu Earthquake does do a lot of work, but I guess when I think about it in the long term, like Ting Lu actually doesn't do much to this team. I think it's Chien-Pao as the last, yeah. The problem with Ting Lu is like, sure, the ground coverage does some pretty decent chip, but it doesn't really break through anything specifically. It's kind of slow against their team. They have the Dragonite that's immune to it as well. I just didn't think it was like enough of a reason. While Shane Pouch just outspeeds a lot of their team, I can pressure more, so we'll see. Gonna be the lead of Mousehold Annihilate. Yep. Not like I'm surprised. Orthworm plus Fluttermane. Okay, I could go for the Terra Fairy Moonblast immediately. I kind of just want to actually just Moonblast a Mousehold. I think they want to target... I don't know who they're targeting, because I don't know if you Rage Fist immediately or not. I want to just Moonblast a Mousehold and Shed Tail. But I could, I guess, Terra as well. I guess Terra Moonblast into Mount. Actually, yeah. I mean, I was originally committed to Terra Moonblasting anyway. I could Iron Defense here, I suppose. But I don't think that's worth it. I think I would Shed Tail. Yeah, I'm going to Shed Tail. Let's see if this is worth it or not. If we could force the Annihilate to Terra, that's really good for us. Because if we force the Annihilate to Terra and it's like Terra Fire, that means our Dragonite can just like Earthquake and I don't have to rely on Terraing with Terra Blast. Which means I don't really need it at all. Or at least need to Terra on the Dragonite because it doesn't change anything in this matchup. Other than maybe like Xian Pao. But like, I don't think that's like as a big of an issue. We're going to see the Terra Fire. Alright. So it is weak to Earthquake, which is beautiful. And hopefully the Terra Moonblast does knock out the Mousehold right here. So Terra Moonblast, choice specs, pick up the knockout into the Mousehold. Hey, hold up, that didn't KO. Okay. Was hoping that would KO. That's a KO. A Rage Fist into the Orthworm. Doesn't KO, but unfortunately I did go for the Shed Tail here. Huh. Okay then. I want to save this mon still, probably. They're probably going to protect Mousehold and just Drain Punch. Or Rage Fist. My best play is probably to go out into Xian Pao, I guess. And Body Press the Annihilate. Get some chip. As they already have a boosted Rage Fist, so it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, Xian Pao in. Sword of Ruin, but it doesn't affect any calcs. They do protect the Mousehold, which is not too surprising. Did they Drain Punch or not? They did Rage Fist a Fluttermane. Yep, makes sense. Doesn't make me my sash. Here comes a Body Press. Okay, cool. Gonna go for an Ice Spinner and a Body Press into the Annihilate. So that's leftovers, which is interesting. Is this Citrus Berry? Because they're going to be in Flutter range soon, which is pretty big. Enite Fluttermane can still pull off a win. But yeah, this is definitely not looking super easy right now. Luckily, they can't really heal much from Drain Punch, which is like the one thankful part. They do follow me, so we'll get rid of Friend Guard. They're probably going to get rid of Xian Pao. And then the game is tough. The game is tough. It's winnable, but it's tough. A Drain Punch to get some recovery. It makes sense. Xian Pao goes down. I wonder what would happen if I Heart Swapped. Like, if I read that, Heart Swapping into Fluttermane, because, like, Drain Punch doesn't do anything. Huh. And KOing the Mousehold. But I still think this is probably an okay position. We're going hard into... Let's go hard into Dragonite, I think. I don't want to go Flutter. Fluttermane definitely doesn't pick up the knockout, which is my only concern. Dragonite Earthquake can. The problem is I don't know if I'll live the attack from the Xian Pao. So I think I have to go Fluttermane. If they go Fluttermane here. If they go Xian Pao here. So let's bring out the Fluttermane. We're going to see Amoonguss come in. Okay. Amoonguss is interesting. I'm actually going to hard swap into Dragonite and I'm going to heavy slam the Amoonguss. because they're gonna Rage Fist. I think with Multi-Sky, I easily live the Rage Fist, and then I can Earthquake the Annihilate the following turn. Let's see if they Pollen Puff though. They Protect. Oh, they're going for Protect Spore, which makes sense too. Okay, that's actually really good for me because I don't even have my Multi-Scale broken and I still have a Lumberry. Okay. Oh, it's Rocky Helmet Amoonguss. Okay, Spore. That's all right. I have a Lumberry. Earthquake should knock out the Annihilate, but never went for a bulk up, so we go for the Earthquake. We should outspeed too, I'd imagine. The Mouse was super bulky, so I don't think this is going to be like fast Annihilate. And then the last Pokemon, we're going to figure it out, I guess. I should set up an Iron Defense, or do I Heavy Slam? I'm trying to think of what's better. I think it's just Heavy Slam for damage into Amoonguss. Okay, perfect. Earthquake is going to be able to outspeed, knock out. We get the Earth Eater, so Orthworm's able to heal some HP. Goodbye, Annihilate. Perfect. And now the Amoonguss is in range of Dazzling Gleam from Terra. So it comes down to their last. Still a scary position, but still very winnable. All right. We're up, but I don't know for how long. Here comes a Pollen Puff. Oh, they were hoping. They were hoping that the Annihilate was faster. That actually should be a... It's not a guaranteed win, unfortunately, though. Is she Pow? Yep. Perfect. Trying to figure out what the best play is here. I think it's Extreme Speed to Shein Pow and Body Press to Shein Pow. I'm trying to think. Okay, so if I... Shein Pow's probably Focus Sash. We've already seen them use their Terra. Flutter Mane should have one attack from the Shein Pow. Dazzling Gleam KOs both of them. The Shein Pow is probably faster. So I gotta make sure, okay, the Spore and the Spore options, I think I cover for by Extreme Speed and Heavy Slamming the Amoonguss. Because I break the Sash on the Shein Pow, so it's in range of any attack. They go for Rage Powder. Because they went for Ice Spit or Icicle Crash. Oh, this is where it can get problematic. Actually, wait, do I KO the Amoonguss? I do, right? Yeah, Heavy Slam should KO the Amoonguss. Okay, no, I win guaranteed. Because Crash was like, okay, wait, Crash? That can flinch, or that might actually get like a roll on the Flutter Mane. But because I went for Heavy Slam and Extreme Speed, I broke the Sash guaranteed, which was pretty important on the Shein Pow, and I was able to knock out there. So Flutter Mane going to come in, and yeah, there's no spread move that literally saves them the game. So we can go for a Moonblast into the Shein Pow, and we can go for a Body Press also into Shein Pow. Ooh, all right. That was scary. I did not expect a Maushold to really survive that combination. Because they target Orthworm, and Orthworm actually survived was pretty crucial because the damage that Orthworm was doing was racking up because they decided to ignore it. But the fact that I was building up so much damage, and it was like a Pokemon that pressured in the endgame, like that Body Press was doing a huge chunk to Annihilate and the Amoonguss, and again could just knock out the Shein Pow. So we actually were in a really great spot even after considering all those other factors. Grimmsnarl, Flutter Mane, Palafin, Roaring Moon, Amoonguss, Armourouge. Okay, definitely some Pokemon I haven't really seen. Grimmsnarl since like Series 1, really. The Roaring Moon and Armourouge in Series 2. Okay. Chettel's really good here in this matchup. Trying to figure out how I set this up properly. Armourouge is actually a little bit scary, but I think I do have answers. I think it's like Orthworm plus the Ting-Lu, and then have Gyarados and Dragonite as the last. Flutter Mane's good, but it's not good enough, I think. I think setting up the Dragon Dance on the Dragonite's better in this game. Shein Pow could put in some work, but it's a little bit tricky. Like, Flutter Mane could be nice behind a sub, but it's just screens as a factor. So I think I'd rather just like go Dragonite I can set up, and also like behind a sub, it might be hard for them to actually break the sub. So I can get like multiple Dragon Dances off to help stall out screen turns, but also like just pressure knockouts afterward. So we'll see. If they lead Grimmsnarl though, it's super passive. And the thing about passive into this is if you play passive, I get free setups, right? So that's something they also have to consider. Like if they lead the Grimmsnarl combined with like Palafin, for instance, You have to switch out to Palafin, or you're just going for a baby wave crash, which is not KOing either of my Pokemon, and I just get to shed tail off for free. So there's not really much of a win there, I think, for my opponent in that case. They do get screens up, but wouldn't be much value. Let's see what they're going to lead here. Going to be Grimstall Roaring Moon, actually. Okay. Into Orthworm Ting Lu. Can I just Rock Slide here? I feel like I could just Rock Slide. And maybe Iron Defense. I feel like I could just Iron Defense. That's the thing, though. I feel like I could just Iron Defense with Orthworm and Rock Slide. You know what? I think I'm going to try it. I think this might be Reflect and Dragon Dance coming out, so I might as well just get some setup right now and pressure. Because I don't have to go for the Shed Tail immediately if I'm not even pressured by the lead in the first place. I might as well save my Dragonites a few turns and get some work in with the Orthworm that can actually pressure the opponent right now. So are they going to Terra Flying the... The thing is, if they Terra Flying the Roaring Moon immediately, it's a Pokemon that's very reliable. You are going to see the Terra immediately. Okay, perfect. I'm thinking, yep, it is going to be the Roaring Moon. The thing is... Oh, Terra Dark. What? Okay. Not expecting that one. Okay. Goes for the Throat Chop. Oh, geez. How much does this do? Okay, then. Okay, then. Goes for the Spirit Break. That actually did... That's actually, like, more fearful than the Throat Chop. Okay. I'm gonna get in Gyarados, I guess. I'm gonna Body Press the Roaring Moon, I suppose, and I'm gonna go Gyarados. I might as well, right? I can Terra the arm. Do I Terra? I don't think I Terra the Orthworm. I can if I want to, I suppose. Roaring Moon gonna retreat. All right. Is this Fluttermane? Armor Reach. Okay. I still get a really powerful Body Press off, so I'll take it. Like, I'm in a really good spot. That's the problem for them. I'm in a really good spot with Body Press damage into the Armor Roach. I can heal up my Orthworm later with Bulldoze and Earthquakes. Like, this is still a really good spot. I did go for the Reflect, which makes sense. So now we're actually going to be playing that game of Reflect Stall. I'm really not scared, though, of that Roaring Moon. That's the problem. Body Press isn't doing that much damage. Oh, it's weak armor. Okay. That part can be scary, I suppose. I feel like you don't have a Psychic move. I really don't think you do. Do I want to Shed Tail now? You can Shed Tail into Dragonite and I guess Dragon Dance and Extreme Speed Pressure? Yeah, I might as well. And I'm going to Bulldoze to get some HP back. And also, like, pressure the Roaring Moon swap if they ever decide to go for that. I just feel like I can set up a Dragonite sweep. Like, Earthquake looks pretty good for this endgame. So we'll Terra Fire here. I go for Protect too, which is actually perfect because I get free... I literally get a free Bulldoze and healing. Okay, they Thunderwave my Gyarados, but I... Oh, I don't have a Lumberry on this. So I'm not going to get the healing with Orthworm, unfortunately. Which I would have preferred, but it's okay. Alright. Free Shed Tail. Should I just go Ting Lu and click Earthquake, actually? What's stopping me from going Ting Lu and clicking Earthquake against their team? I guess I could just go Ting Lu and click Earthquake. Like, Dragonite doesn't even have to be set up at this point yet. And I think I'm going to go Orthworm and Earthquake. I got paralyzed anyway. All right. I'm going for the Earthquake and I'm switching out my Gyarados to keep Intimidate. I'm going back into Orthworm because if they go for Heat Wave, like, so be it. I don't think Heat Wave's breaking my sub with the Vessel Ruin in effect. Unless you're Life Orb, maybe? I don't know if you're Life Orb. We're going to see Armored Retreat, actually, which is really good. All right, what's coming in? Roaring Moon? Oh, this is fantastic. That's fantastic for me. I'll take that. That's a free Earthquake and a free healing on Orthworm. Yeah, this is looking really good for us. Because I get Free Earthquake damage, just a Choice Banded Earthquake. Even Druid Reflect, like, this should still be doing, like, at least half of the remaining HP on the Roaring Moon. Yeah. And we pressure the Grim as well. Is that a berry on the Roaring Moon? It was, and it's Spirit Break coming out into the Tinglu, which isn't able to pick up which is able to break the sub, but the thing is the Roaring Moon's not pressuring enough either. I think I could just go for another Earthquake because it pressures a knockout into the Grimmsnarl, and I might as well just go for another Shed Tail. Yeah, I might as well just go for another Shed Tail, because if I can get a free Shed Tail into the Dragonite, I'm in a really good spot. Earthquake knocks out the Grimmsnarl. I outspeed the Grimmsnarl. We already saw the speed tiers. If they go for Roost, that's fine. Actually, this is the best case scenario because Roaring Moon got no damage off. I get more damage into them. I get the Shed Tail for free. I get the free Dragonite swap. This is looking pretty good for us. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for us. I'll definitely take it. So, Shed Tail up. And we're going to go out into our Dragonite. There are still some things that I have to be concerned about, like what are the last, I think is going to be pretty crucial. Because we know it's Armarouge in the back. I'm not scared of Armarouge. Fluttermane, yeah, that's the Pokemon I'm more scared of. Because Dazzling Gleam will actually do damage. Alright, booster energy, speed, or special attack, okay. They knock out Tinglu. I feel like Dazzling Gleam should knock out Tinglu, but I'm actually not even sure. How many turns of Reflect do they have? 4 turns if it's like Clay, which it most likely is, okay. I would kind of want to go Gyarados and Dragon Dance up. I'm going to go Gyarados and Dragon Dance up. Yeah. I might as well just Dragon Dance up with the... Or just Dragon Dance with my Dragonite and put on a lot of pressure. This is where it can get a little bit awkward, I guess. Because the Fluttermane's actually a little bit scary. But I do get the Intimidate into the Roaring Moon. We're going to see Dragon Claw. Okay. With the Intimidates plus the multi-scale with the sub, does the sub break? I was hoping it wouldn't. All right. And they only went for Dazzling Gleam. I think Tinglu probably survived that too. That's actually really unfortunate for me. All right, here comes a Dragon Dance setup. This is not that bad though. I think I could Thunder Wave the Fluttermane and Earthquake. I think if I set up for Tinglu to win, I think this is okay. Because Thunder Wave into Fluttermane means I think my Tinglu should be able to outspeed as a special attack booster. Earthquake is going to do enough chip to put it in range of the attack, so I think I'm okay. But yeah, Dragon Claw, Roach Chop, Roost, Terra Dark, Roaring Moon. It's not what I was expecting. Earthquake going to come out. Was a knockout. They Dragon Dance? That's super greedy. Okay. All right, Gyarados, you just got to do this one time. You just got to do this one time, man. Just one time. All I ask, one time. Nice. Okay. That is really good. We're going out in a Tinglu. We're clicking Choice Banded Earthquake. We should outspeed. And we're going to swap out into our Orthworm and Earthquake. Because the Roaring Moon cannot take a knockout into Tinglu. That's for certain. And if they Roost, they're just stalling what's inevitable right now for them. Okay, beautiful. Because here comes an Earthquake. We're going to get the Earth Eater, which is pretty important, but the knockout of Fluttermane is a big one. Nice. I wonder if they have Wide Guard on the Armarouge. That's the only thing that could maybe screw me over. But they had to spam Wide Guard with the Armarouge. It's the last time Reflect. They're only at neutral, so they're not KOing. I think I just Body Press and I think I just Earthquake. Because like if they They protect the Roaring Moon. They just go down to the Earthquake with the Armor Rouge. They're going for the Throat Chop, which is actually they just lose off that, don't they? Yeah, because Orthworm doesn't go down. They go for Armor Cannon, but I'm pretty sure this is not KOing my Ting-Lu with the Vessel of Ruin. Yeah. They need to double up the Ting-Lu, and even if they double up the Ting-Lu, I don't know if that like even guarantees them to win. So yeah. Earthquake comes out into the Orthworm and finishes up. They saw the armor cannon damage, and that was it. Orthworm does make you rage quit a bunch, doesn't it? All right, let's go over the games. Honchkrow was there 1 second and gone the next, but I was able to set up a safe Shed Tail for Fluttermane, and then Choice Specs Fluttermane was able to gleam my opponent's whole team. Game 2, playing around the Gyarados was annoying, but I knew how strong Ting-Lu and Dragonite were, especially forcing the Terra Grass from Iron Hands. Game 3, severely underestimated Maushold, but was able to build up damage into Annihilate and clean up with Dragonite and Fluttermane. Game 4, it was unexpected turn 1, but I was able to handle everything besides the Fluttermane comfortably, which looking back, the early Orthworm Terra wasn't necessary, but I was able to slowly climb back up by paralyzing the Fluttermane with Thunder Wave and positioning for a Ting-Lu sweep, which my opponent disrespected. Orthworm was a really amazing meta pick, and I think David Koutesh really showcased like how strong it could be. Amazing team builder, and yeah, this team is one of my favorites that he's created so far. It's really powerful. You can check out the details of the team and the creator down below in the description, and of course subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.